In Magic the Gathering's ever-expanding empire, how long will it be until we see a feature-length film, The Brothers' War? Hi everyone and welcome back. MTG Moxman here. If you're new to the channel, you've just found me in this nacho cheese universe of YouTube. Thanks a lot for checking out my content today. Really hope you guys enjoy it. And of course, if you did, hit that subscribe button. Join in the fun. It is free to do. Doesn't cost you a dime and does help support the channel. Help me get closer to my goal of 10,000 subscribers. I'm looking forward to the party we're going to have when we get there. So when you think of Wizards of the Coast, you think of a company. It's owned by Hasbro. Think of the other properties that are owned by Hasbro. Over the years, think of all the stuff they own. All the toys and all the things they've branched out into. Transformers. Awesome movies. I love them. Can't help myself. Some are starting to look a little bit dated, but I still love them. Optimus Prime. Come on. How long until we see a movie like that? Because just like the Marvel movies, some were not great. Some got better with, time. Iron Man came out, broke the mold, right? A good story can really take a film far. Think of Lord of the Rings. Think about the old cartoon one from the 70s and how far it came when they did the new live action. But there's been duds like the Dragonlance cartoon from, 2004 or whatever, a long time ago with Keith or Sutherland. Didn't go over very well. But there's that potential. And every year that Wizards builds more lore, more history, it's like building an archive of books and information and data which can be put together to make movies. They can do whole series of movies. Think about all the knowledge and lore built up inside this industry in the last 30 years. Why do you think comic books are so successful? They have so many stories to draw upon when they put those into film now. It's like an endless universe that they can keep rehashing and rebooting. Batman, Spider-Man, reboot. They can do it if it's done well. Some things did not come out as well. Like I liked Mortal Kombat. I liked Wing Commander back in 1997, whatever it was, with Freddie Prinze Jr. I actually enjoyed those films. They didn't age that well. They didn't go over very well later on, and they got kind of panned by the critics. But they've gotten better since then. A good writer can go a long way. How long until we see the Urza Mishra War? Who would act in it? Who'd be the director? Anyway, I'm going to have some fun with this today. I'm going to give you my opinion. Let's dive into this. So for a director, I want to start off by saying I'm going to take Del Toro if I can. He's the guy I want to have. Peter Jackson might be a little side guy there, but I'm going to take Del Toro. I loved Hellboy, Hellboy 2, Pacific Rim. Come on. He knows how to work with fantasy. He knows how to get things done. He can make it look really creepy. If the Phyrexians have got to look scary, this is your guy to do it. He can make them look so horrific, but he also knows how to spin a good story. So if I have the opportunity to pick the director, I'm going to go with Del Toro. And of course, guys, as we're doing this, feel free to pipe in on what you think the better choices would be or who you would pick. Because I'm very curious to see how people's minds work if you're thinking about making a movie. But for me, I'm taking first pick Del Toro, and that's why I put this bad boy out there, because he does some amazing filmmaking. I don't know about, by the way, anybody's personal lives here. I'm just going by films I've enjoyed watching, actors and actresses I've enjoyed. So that's who I'm going to pick for this, so awesome. Let's go on and check out our next section. When we're thinking of the world of Dominaria, and we're looking this far into the past, where it's like a solid landmass, they're going to do a lot of filming on location. They're going to be doing some green screen, some CGI stuff. I hope they pick nice locations with good open areas, with amazing panoramic shots of what's going on around you to get a real scope of what Dominaria would look like. I'd be stupid. I mean, let's face it, Dominaria is like 5 times the size of roughly Earth. So it's a huge, massive planet. And really, most of it takes place in very small, localized areas. And they can stick to that when they do it in the film. So, gotta say, I would love to see how this would all pan out. But just epic stuff. Let's go ahead and take a look at who I think would be a good actor for the role of Urza, the Lord High Artificer. All right, now as an artificer, let's go here. Perhaps the most powerful planeswalker who ever lived. Urza was a brilliant scientist, artificer, whatever. military leader of Dominaria. He led the millennia-long war to protect his home and from repeated Phyrexian invasions. And although he ensured Dominaria's survival, he sacrificed many lives, including his own, to secure victory, leaving his legacy as a hero tarnished. Yeah, you know, the good with the bad, the kind of hero, anti-hero. You know, 2 lives don't matter when there's millions at stake. I totally get it. So you're probably wondering, who would I pick? Out of all the guys I've seen out there, and people I know have done some fantasy films, you know, I kind of bounced around a few, like Ron Perlman just doesn't quite fit the role. So I would go ahead and I would pick Jeff Bridges as Urza, the Lord High Artificer. I mean, when you think of him as an actor, forget the stuff like Iron Man. He has done some sci-fi stuff before, right? He's done a few movies that really put him in that role. And I can picture, I mean, he carries a beard well. He's got the longish hair that kind of fits well with how Urza looked. Like, just bounce it back here to Urza, right? Look at Urza there. See the face? Yeah, they kind of make him look right. I really think that Jeff Bridges could pull that off and really make a great Urza. I mean, you have to get rid of some of the comical stuff he likes to do. He has to have a more serious tint to it, because I think Urza sounds like a very serious person. But I think he can pull it off. The wrinkles look good. He looks aged nicely. Now, of course, Planeswalkers can shift their age, so you might have to have a younger version of, you know, different actors kind of filling in the roles depending on what time and age they decide to put the film at. But for the older Urza, I would totally take Jeff Bridges, hands down. You got a better choice? You guys better let me know who you would pick. Now, of course, Mishra. Who is going to be that brother we all hate? Who fits that role of somebody who can be so intense that you're just like, oh my God, I hate you, right? But I understand. All right, I would go ahead and I'm picking Michael Shannon, right? Remember like when he did Superman, that intensity, look at him, and with the black hair dyed and a little bit of a goatee. Tell me that could not be Mishra, right? Like, it could be him. It could fit in as the role. I mean, there's probably some other actors who would fit with that face, that intensity, and when they start making him half Phyrexian later on, when you see he's been contaminated and stuff during the final fights, imagine how they could make him look. They could just blow this out. Del Toro would have a blast using Michael Shannon, man. I would love to see the effects they could put into that to make it work for them on film. So, if you got a better choice, again, I want to hear what you guys think about this, because the idea of a live-action movie actually brought to the big screen containing all of our favorite Magic the Gathering characters and slowly branching off would just be, it would blow my mind. I would love to see it. I would just love to see it. Now, for the next one, all right, for Urza's Apprentice, for Tawnos, I'm going to take Nicholas Hoult. Okay? The legendary artificer himself, I'm going to take Nicholas Hoult. I loved him when he played Beast. I loved him in About a Boy. Amazing actor. Remember in Warm Bodies too, where he plays like the zombie guy. He can play different roles. He's diversified and he fits the look. Put him with a nice tight, like even when he played Beast, right, from the X-Men. If you give this guy a nice tight fitting outfit, like you see like a picture there, you make him like a really, like he's already smart as the Beast. You kind of get that persona in there, but make him creating all kinds of amazing mechanized armies to help Urza. It would just be totally awesome. I can see it working, right? Now, of course, we have to go back to the beginning of the brother story. We have to go back to the start when they first get the Weak Stone, Might Stone, and you got to have Torcia, right? I would use Judi Dench. Put her like a Shaw and a Rap and stuff like they did when they did Chronicles of Riddick, right? Which is one of those wind people. But you put her like with that kind of Shaw, but really drab colors, and she's trying to stop them from fighting, and she could have an epic death scene when the stone is separated and boom, the explosion goes off. Like, it'd be epic. And she could be that beginning piece. Because, I mean, they're going to have to break this movie into, like, 3 parts or something, right? To make it like a real trilogy of the Brothers' War. You have to do the beginning part, and it has to be entertaining enough to grab people, right? There has to be some good beginning battles and stuff. You have to take the story far enough that you grab some people. Then you got to have that middle part, where they're building armies and having increasing warfare, and then you got to end off at the end where the whole planet's being ravaged in the third part, that everything just gets wrecked. But it could start with Judy, Michael, and Jeff Bridges when they're younger and have that beginning piece of the film. I'm just saying there's so many options out there that they could go ahead and add into filming that it just blows your mind. And if we're going to throw Yawgmoth into the mix, I'm going to use Benedict Cumberbatch for that. He's done Smog. All right, from Lord of the Rings, he did the voice of Smaug, right, and the Five Armies and stuff. Very cool. He's played very serious roles. He's been in fantasy films before, so he can throw it across. And he'd make a great, like, kind of Thran physician, but also as a CGI morphed, like, king of all Phyrexia. I think they could totally pull that together. It would just be amazing. So those are a few of the choices I would make if I was going to do a Brothers War full live-action film. I mean, if you take the artwork we've already seen for Brothers War, take the old stuff we've seen from Antiquities, put that into a storyboard type look, Yoshin soldiers, Thran technology. You start putting that together and use kind of how they was did with Dune, with like the Thopters and stuff like that, right? Think about the stuff they've put together already in films. They could totally make this work with giant mechanized warriors going to battle, humans, goblins, orcs, everything getting in there. It would be amazing to see. I understand quite a bit would have to be CGI, but there'd be lots of room for live action stuff with actual actors in it as well. And I'd rather see that than a cartoon, honestly, because I just don't think they would do it justice. They kind of cheap, it gets a little bit cheaper when they do a cartoon, like, oh, this is all we could afford. No, we're saying money's no object. We're going to put this together. This is how I would just love it to look. So you guys go ahead. Let me know what you think in the comments section. I'm feeling it on a Friday. I'm feeling like a live action movie, and this is what I would like to see. You guys let me know what you think too. I hope you enjoyed the video. Put some comments in the comment section. Let's get this party started. Happy Friday, everyone. Hey, big shout out goes out to all the wonderful patrons on the channel. Thanks again for that continued support, everyone. It means a lot to me each and every day to know you guys have got my back. Thanks again. Patrons make the world go round. Look forward to seeing you guys Sunday on the live stream. Have a great one. The Brothers War movie. It would just be so cool. Let me know what you guys think. And you made it to the end of the video this far in, at the very back. I'm going to throw people off. Urza in the comment section. That way I know you made it past everything, because it was pretty cool. Hope you guys put some comments there. I want to see what people think about that kind of stuff. Who would you pick for those movie roles? Let's get that debate rolling. Urza. Have a great one, guys.